morning. Today is something very different. I've never ever had to do this before. We have jury duty today. And so I don't even really know what to expect. I got a letter in the mail saying that I was being summoned for grand jury duty, which I know is different than the other type of jury, which is like petty jury or something like that, or petit, something, I don't know. But I'm on my way to the courthouse right now, and I hope I get dismissed, because what I was like researching online or whatever was the fact that like grand juries don't actually like sit in the box, like they don't sit in the courtroom and hear a case. They like decide whether or not a case should go to trial, and which I think is easier in my opinion, but I have no idea because I've never done it before, and I'm kind of nervous because I have no idea really where I'm supposed to go. Like, I know the building, like I've been by the building 100 times, but I have no idea like what I'm about to walk into. So we're still about 20 minutes away, maybe a little less. Hopefully I get dismissed, which would be the best thing, and it would also be like a complete and utter waste of time. But why I'm thinking I probably will get dismissed is because what I read is that grand juries like meet a couple times a year, and as a student I can't always make that commitment. I can't just like skip class. I can't, whatever. So maybe if they say that, then possibly, but I don't know. I'm kind of hoping, or it's someone that I know and I just get dismissed for that reason. But I also don't want it to be somebody that I know, because obviously it means someone that I know did something bad. But I will try to take you guys along. It may have to be a voiceover because I have no idea what I'm about to be able to do. And if I can't film anything in there, then I'll give you a recap afterwards. Okay, so I just got to the courthouse and I haven't been in there yet, but I still have like 20 minutes till I'm supposed to be there, so I'm gonna wait a little bit and then go in. I could maybe walk across the street to grab a coffee, but I'm just gonna wait, because if I get dismissed, there's no point in trying to lug a coffee up 3 flights of stairs. But I have, like I said, about 10 minutes till I want to walk in and then figure it out that way. But I'm nervous and I'm a little bit scared. I thought I knew that person. It looks like my cousin, but it's not my cousin, so thank goodness. She also looks a lot more like properly dressed. But she's wearing jeans, so like, why couldn't I wear jeans? If I have to come back, I'm gonna wear jeans. I got this exact outfit, but jeans. Ladies are more comfortable than jeans for the most part. Well, I almost parked there, and then I decided not to, and I parked here. My car shouldn't get hit. Like, it's not hitting up. Oh. Oh, my mom has a finance meeting, I think, with somebody today. Oh, no, it's like the price for a transport, really. Oh, it's not like an actual, I mean, there's probably an actual sheriff in it, maybe just like a bailiff or something. Oh my gosh, how long has that been going? Okay, so we just got done not that long ago and I'm home now. I went and got like coffee and some food afterwards, but it was way different than what I was expecting. So all of like the research and stuff that I did was like, basically you're in this room and You're not like in the courthouse or whatever. And people come in, like witnesses and the officer and all that stuff, and they like give their testimony of what happened. And then they leave the room, and then everybody votes on it, whether or not to indict someone, which means basically take them to trial. And we sat in the actual courtroom. And so it was like jury number 1 through 12 or something like that sat in the jury box, and then everybody else sat on the edge. And I was juror number 8. So I got selected. And they didn't do any sort of interview process or anything like that. Because I guess if like you can't make it to some of the other ones, which I don't think I can because I have school on Thursdays, which is when we were supposed to be meeting. What was I saying? But anyways, so they took the top, like the first 9 jurors from the jury box, and we sat at this table, and juror number 1 was like our like spokesperson. He would like write everything down. He would like do like the pledging in or swearing in or whatever of like the witnesses and the officers. And so glad that wasn't my job. I sat directly across from like the witnesses and the officers, and it was like weird. It just felt so weird to me. So the way that my county does it, because it was the county that like summoned me or whatever. So we all went right at the beginning, and we all kind of like met right outside the courthouse. And I thought we were just gonna go in like a different room instead of actually in the courthouse. And then we went in, we all like got our seats, and then the judge came in. He like talked to us for a little bit, and then he left. Like we didn't see the judge at all. Like we won't see the judge ever again. If I go back, we won't see the judge ever again, because it's not an actual trial. It's just figuring out whether or not these cases need to go to the trial, and whether or not these charges that these people or person is being accused of is, like, I guess, worth going to court. So we would vote on it, and you had to have, I think, 7 out of the 9 people vote to say yes. So we started off the day with an absolute banger, 2 bangers back to back with domestic violence. And one case was a lot more severe than the other, but like right off the bat, we got 2 of them in a row. Like we were all fresh. Like none of us had really been on a jury before. 2 fresh ones off the bat of DV. And the prosecuting attorney, he would like talk to the witnesses. We were allowed to ask questions, but he was like, I promise these are the only 2, and like everything else is better. There's a lot of drugs. There was some trespassing. There was one that had 2 counts of like, I forget what it was called, but like harming an officer. That was, I think, our very last one. I could be wrong. And then it was mostly drugs. So we saw like the same couple of officers pretty much the whole time. They would just come in for like different cases and talk about these specific instances. So that was cool, and we got to like meet them and learn more about the law. And I was just like, get me out of here. Like, please do the interview thing, dismiss us. And what people will tell you, and it may be different from county to county, state to state, is that if you get selected for grand jury, that's what I got selected for, you have some waiting time, but like it's not that bad. Like ours, we waited for the most part right at the beginning before everything started, and then when we started getting people to come in and like talk about the case, like officers and stuff, then it was pretty back to back. Like we would the prosecuting attorney, he would like explain to us a little bit like of what the case was. He would maybe tell us their names, and then the witness would come in first. We only had 2 witnesses actually, and then the officer would come in. And then after they left, well, actually no, I'm pretty sure it was the officer then the witness. Yeah, it was the officer then the witness. but all the other ones were just officers. And then they would tell their whole thing. They'd be like, do you have any more questions for them? No? Okay. They'll leave. The next person will come in. But if there was only one, sometimes there was multiple officers for the thing, and then they would switch. But anyways, so the one would go, then they would leave. The other one would come in. We would ask them all their questions. They would leave. And then to vote, the prosecuting attorney, his assistant, and all the alternates. So there was only 3 alternates that stayed. Everybody else got dismissed. And I was like, you lucky ducks. So everybody else had to leave the room. And then we would vote. We would discuss, and then we would vote. But most of them were, pretty clear-cut. What was said is what happened, pretty much. And most of them, were drug-related. That's why. And then we would vote, and then the prosecuting attorney and everybody would come back in. And then if it was, unanimous, the, front juror or whatever, jury number 1, would, sign some paper saying that we voted on this or whatever. And if we didn't all vote, he would ask us, okay, what did you, not agree on? What should we change? What should we amend to the charges in order for it to be brought back up and maybe be brought into court? So that was that. And then we were there. So we got there 8:30, and I think by the time we saw our first person, it was 9, maybe 9:15, maybe a little later. And then we got out of there at 1-ish. So wasn't super long, and he was that was going to be one of the longer days because of, everybody was new. We were trying to figure it all out. But he said normally you'd be done by, noon, if not earlier. Sometimes a little bit later like that, but normally pretty early. Okay, let me show you what I got. So I got a creme brulee latte, and it's got, little pieces of whatever creme brulee is. And then I got a bubble waffle, and I forgot that there came with an egg, and I meant to say scrambled. I really don't know what this is. And then this is some sort of maple syrup, but I don't really like syrup on mine, so that'll go over there. And I don't know what this is. It looks like grass, so we're gonna take that off. It kind of smells like onion, but that's what these are, these little green onions. I don't know. If you know what that is, let me know, because I clearly did not read the menu right. I guess I could look it up, but oh well. I'm actually really excited about this. I'm a little nervous about the egg. I may just go cook it a little bit more on a stove. Well, yeah, it's cold. I should have just eaten it right away, but oh well. I really don't know what these are. They look and feel like grass, and I wonder if they taste like grass too. I was super nervous. I normally only go there for coffee. I've been there for food once in my life, and I went there with somebody else who used to go there all the time. So I had no idea what to expect. I don't mind these green onions. I do not like, I don't know if you can tell, but the one side where my fingernail is full instead of more hollow. I don't know how to explain that, but yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.